While most everyone is familiar with Luke Skywalker and Han Solo receiving Medals of Valor at the end of the first Star Wars movie, not everyone knows the story of Princess Leia's jewelry from that scene and how it was inspired by the 1969 Apollo moon landing, years before it was seen in one of the most famous sci-fi movies in the world. Part of his Space Silver collection, Princess Leia's Planetoid Valleys necklace and Darina's bracelet were designed by Bjorn Wexstrom and are now some of the most famous Finnish jewelry pieces. They were part of his first silver jewelry collection, which coincided with the exploration of space, including the first moonwalk that occurred in 1969. The themes of the collection revolved around space, science fiction, and psychedelic dreamscapes. In the spring of 1976, Wexstrom received a phone call from George Lucas's secretary. Lucas was in need of some jewelry for his new film, the title of which was not disclosed during the conversation. He specifically wanted jewelry designed by Wexstrom, and the jewelry needed to be ready in 6 weeks for the filming of a particular scene. At the time, George Lucas wasn't a well-known name in Finland, but Wexstrom was intrigued by the project, and he agreed to it, confirming that the timeline was doable. Since space and science fiction were reoccurring themes in his work, I'm sure that designing jewelry for the unnamed project was probably pretty exciting. He began sketching a necklace designed specifically for the film, but progress was swiftly halted when Lucas's secretary reached out again. Wexstrom was informed that the shooting schedule had changed and that the jewelry would now be needed in just 1 week. The compressed timeline made it impossible to complete the new jewelry design for the film, so an alternative had to be found. After a moment, their conversation shifted to Wexstrom's existing body of work, and since the film was being shot in London, the secretary asked whether any of his designs were available there. As it turns out, there was a jewelry dealer on Bond Street, and the secretary was given their contact information. The secretary, thanking Wexstrom for the information, promised that the production team would visit the London store to view the collection. Sometime later, he received a message from the production team stating that they had found the perfect jewelry for the scene in London. Even though he still didn't know which film would feature his pieces, Wexstrom probably felt pretty satisfied, as Lucas had reportedly appraised his jewelry as fantastic. After that, there were no further communications from the production team, and Wexstrom wouldn't find out which of his pieces had made it into the film until later. Apparently, he found out which film it was after a friend of his attended the first screening of Star Wars and saw his jewelry on Princess Leia in that final scene. Soon after, Wexstrom himself went to see the film, where seeing his own designs in such a major film must have been an unforgettable experience. Even so, he couldn't shake the original design he had intended for the film and returned to its creation. This piece would eventually be known as the Poema necklace and be produced in limited quantities in the 1990s. So, how do you get one of these stunning pieces for yourself? It's actually pretty easy to get Princess Leia's Planetoid Valleys necklace and Darina's bracelet, as long as you don't mind paying up for them, because they are still in production by Kalevala, the same Finnish company that made the set for the 1977 movie. I'll leave links to them on the Kalevala website in the description below. The Poema necklace, however, only had a limited run and is not currently in production. You may still be able to find it on resale sites sometimes, but I think it's pretty rare. If the $3,200 and $895 price tags are a bit too steep for your taste, then you may be able to find a better price on sites like eBay for a pre-loved piece. Keep in mind that when these pieces originally went into production, it was under the brand name Lapponia, and it will have different markings than the newer Kalevala pieces. All Kalevala and Lapponia jewelry has a maker's mark. Since 1942, Kalevala jewelry has been punched with the company's stamp, the letters KK inside a circle. I believe that this stands for Kalevala Koru, which is the full name of the company. The maker's mark of Lapponia is a crown with 3 points, for which the letters L and J for Lapponia jewelry create a rectangular frame. This hallmark is found on all gold, silver, and platinum jewelry by Lapponia. You do have to be careful when looking for the Planetoid Valleys necklace because there is another similar necklace called Galactic Peaks that it could be mistaken for at a quick glance. While they both feature similar square panels, the clue to telling them apart is in their names. Princess Leia's Planetoid Valleys necklace has softer, concave, valley-like impressions, and the Galactic Peaks necklace has sharper ridges that jut out like mountain ranges. And if you just want a replica for Halloween or a space party, I found a shop on Etsy that does a great job at 3D printed replica pieces for a fraction of the cost. I'll also have them linked below. The Space Silver collection also has rings and earrings, some featuring cosmic names like Galactic Wind earrings, the Shuttle Ring, the Valance earrings named after the Flying Fish constellation, and the Bridge to the Moon bracelet, which unfortunately seems to be out of stock at the moment. And if you're in Finland, you can visit the Kalevala factory store in Helsinki, where you can buy new, used, and refurbished jewelry. You can also exchange your old Kalevala and Lapponia jewelry there for a Kalevala gift card, or get yourself something from their secondhand collection. Sadly, this service is only offered at the factory store and not online, but if you're nearby, you might be able to find a rare piece. And if you're just searching for that science fiction look in general, you can find some really amazing modernist or brutalist style pieces on eBay or Poshmark. I would search for modernist if you want more sleek spaceship style vibes, or I would search for brutalist if you want like more molten moon rock looking jewelry. If you don't want pre-owned, then luxury jewelry designer Alexis Bittar has some really cool pieces. Bittar's strong use of lucite echoes Wexstrom's boldly combined silver and acrylic jewelry. Here's a stunning example of it used by Wexstrom. This is the petrified lake ring, which gained fame in November of 1971 when Yoko Ono wore it while with John Lennon on the Dick Cavett show. The beautiful ring had been a gift from Lennon. And I'll leave links below to some jewelry collections I've put together if you'd like some initial inspiration. Happy hunting! Because they are still in production by Kalevala.